Today's video is going to be on food addiction and what I did personally to stop eating junk food. I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with, and this is why I want to share with you my tips, because if I can help anybody with them, then it makes me very happy. The first thing that I did that really helped me is that I removed everything from my apartment that I couldn't control myself on out of the apartment. And a good example I can give you is chips, because I am extremely addicted to chips. So something that I did is that I just remove those and stop also buying them. And the funny thing is that I realized that if I didn't have the bag in my apartment, I just wouldn't crave chips. But if I knew there were chips in my apartment, then somehow I wanted to eat them the whole freaking day. So knowing that, it really helped me to be like, well, I'm not really addicted to chips that much. What really is that I just can control myself when I'm around chips. So if I remove chips around me, then it kind of solves my problem, or at least help me solve my problem. The second thing that I did is that I allow myself some treats, but I do it in a very strategic way. For example, with the bag of chips, if I want to treat myself with chips, what I do is that I buy the small portion bag instead of buying the big one. This way, even if I finish the whole thing, at least I didn't eat too much of them, and I don't feel like crap afterwards. Another thing that I realized is that I would crave junk food, especially when I would feel very hungry. And when I made that connection, it kind of made sense that, you know what, I'm not craving junk food actually. I'm just craving like that rich, calorie-dense food only when I haven't been eating for a very long period of time. So knowing that, it kind of helped me figure out ways to stop myself from being hungry, and this way I stopped wanting to eat junk food. In my case, I had 2 times during the day that I would really want to binge on junk food. The first one would be when I would come back home after work, and then I would be very hungry, but I had to wait about 30 minutes to prepare my dinner. Then most of the days I'll be like, oh, I just don't want to do it. I just want to eat junk food, and I can't wait for the dinner to be done. And the second time would be when I would go to bed, because I usually go to bed quite late. And then I would start to feel hungry again, and I don't know what to do. So knowing that, what I did for the first example, the one where I would come back home and feel very hungry, is that as soon as I get home, I would eat an healthy snack. And this way it would help me just to wait a little bit more so my healthy dinner could be prepared. For me, what worked were dates, because I really love dates, and they are rich in calories, they are very satisfying. And only eating I think 1 or 2 would help me wait 30 minutes. For the second example, the one where I would feel very hungry just before going to bed, knowing that it's not very healthy to eat just before you go to sleep, what I did is that I decided to eat something that was very light for the stomach and that was also very healthy. And in this case, I would eat celery, carrots, cucumber, bell peppers, tomatoes, anything that would be easy to grab and eat and just fill me up just a little bit so I would be able to fall asleep. Because you have to know also that going to bed and being hungry prevented me from sleeping. It really did, and I wouldn't be able to sleep until I actually ate something. So I knew that just not eating at all was not an option. This brings me to the next thing, is to be prepared. If I'm hungry and I still have to prepare my snacks, then it's kind of counterproductive. What I learned to do is that as soon as I get back home from the grocery store, I would prepare my vegetables right away for the whole week. So I would wash them, cut them in little pieces, put them in Tupperwares in the fridge. This way they will be so easy to grab and ready to eat that I literally had no excuse. Another thing that I learned to do, and this one is really not easy, is practice yourself to say no and to refuse food that you don't want to eat. And a good example I can give you on this is the place I used to work before. A lot of people would bring treats in the morning, like donuts, muffins, pies, and they would offer them to the whole team, which is very nice of them, but at the same time, this is not what I wanted to do. So what I did is I practiced myself in my head to refuse it, because I knew that if I would face the situation and the second I would hesitate, that's it. I would eat the whole, not the whole thing, but I would eat the thing. A good thing that I did is just being like, just answer no, practice no. And I would imagine people offering me food and just being like, oh, thank you, it's very nice, but no thank you. And it's not like a foolproof thing. It worked sometimes and other times it didn't work. But at least it helped me refuse some of those times. When you try to make a change, it's not easy, and especially if you have a food addiction, it's really not easy. And the best thing you can do is to be very indulgent with yourself and not to aim perfection, because I think a lot of people aim perfection, and as soon as they fall off the wagon, they go like, oh no, I screw up, all of the things I've sacrificed are destroyed by this one meal I had that is not healthy. When actually you have to look at it in the long run. If you fall off the wagon, just be like, okay, I fall off the wagon, I screwed up, that's fine. What can I do now? It's always, what can you do now? What are you going to do about it? And the best thing you can do about it is be like, okay, accept it and jump back on the wagon and continue your journey, because it's really a journey. It's a long-term thing, and it's hard to be perfect all the time. And actually being perfect, I think it's way too heavy, and I think it's very unhealthy. So think about it in the long term, and if you screw up, that's all right. Brush yourself up and do it again, and that's it. Also, I want to mention, I know I mentioned it in the previous video, but there is a documentary called Hungry for Change, and it's very good. It talks about food addiction and explains why junk food is so bad for you. And if you can watch it, I think it will give you even more knowledge on why you should stop, and maybe you can be more motivated to actually stop eating junk food. I know that's what it did for me, so I hope maybe it will do the same for you. So I would link it down somewhere below, or link to their website. I think it's still on Netflix, I'm not sure, but if you can, please watch it. So this is it, guys. I hope my tips help you. If you have anything else that I didn't mention in this video that you think may be helpful for anybody else, even myself, please write them down below, because I would love to read them. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!